I got called a boomer. Oh my god!
I saw that. Hello and welcome to Sports in the Podcast. We got a good lineup here. I'm here with Ben and Brian. And Ben, what have we got today?
So we're going to go ahead and start off. There's a lot of things that happen there. I mean, there's a bunch of things going on in sports. Now, a lot of it is continuation of stuff we covered, but I think we're going to cover something that it really doesn't get much coverage because it's kind of a joke. But the Pro Bowl is this weekend. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Pro Bowl. Have you guys actually watch it?
Yeah, I watch it. I mean, I like it. I mean, honestly, I like the skills competitions better than the game, but I'll watch the game just because it's still football.
I've got an idea. I would cancel the Pro Bowl and just do the skills competitions. That's the draw for me. Bring back that. What did they do in the late 90s, early 2000s where they had like all the quarterbacks in the league would do the longest throw competition. They'd go run the obstacle course. Bring that back. And do that instead of and you know what? Let a halfback do it.
Yeah. Well, they already let Lamar Jackson do it. So. Well, I did see something from one of the drills earlier today. I just saw something that I don't remember who it was, but Lamar did not do well in the QB accuracy thing, and they put like another put a wide receiver did it, and the wide receiver was more accurate than Lamar was.
Oh, they do that every year. Like 1 year, they have a non-quarterback do it every year, and then 1 year, who was it? The edge rusher from the Bears. Why is his name? Khalil Mack, yeah. And Khalil Mack out-threw Russell Wilson.
Yeah, believe it.
It's like.
So I will say this: the Pro Bowl is fun. So I've been to a Pro Bowl. Like I can actually say I've done that.
Yeah, because they hold it in the middle of nowhere in the desert.
Well, I mean, it was they had it in they had it in Arizona. Was that 2015? 2015 they had it in Arizona, or was the 2014-15 season?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was when the Super Bowl was there. And the tickets were cheap, and it went, and it was an interesting experience. That one was kind of early on in the game. There was someone there was one play where they straight up refused to tackle, but it was one of those moments when they realized they weren't in Hawaii anymore because and it was a pretty close to full stadium. The entire stadium started to boo, like audibly, loudly boo, and you just realized that people were like. What, Brian?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I remember a few years ago, Roger Goodell was basically like gonna re-look at the Pro Bowl if a better product didn't go back on the field because it was a joke. I was bummed. If you brought back the QB club, we could have finally had the Mahomes versus Josh Allen throw-off that we've all been waiting for. Well, when I say all, I mean me.
Yeah. Well, but speaking of just being there, so that was the year. I just remember Von Miller got flagged like 3 times for an illegal blitz because the rules of the Pro Bowl that you can't blitz more than 4 people or you can't rush more than 4. Right. And so his job was his position or his job was or his role in coverage was watch the running back. Well, the running back stayed in blocked, so he just came in. So yeah, he got flagged like 3 times. But I can tell you, Vaughn played that game. Vaughn at one point killed Andrew Luck in that game. And you just see people froze. But my favorite thing that happened in that game, and I hate the wave. I think the wave is the stupidest thing that anyone does in any sport. I can somewhat do it in football, I guess. But no, baseball, do not do the wave in baseball. Knock it off. stop it, you're horrible. But they were doing the wave at the Pro Bowl. Well, one of the things that stops the wave is, something good for your team, the home team, or something bad for the home team. That's what'll stop it. Well, there was no home team, and no one actually cared about the teams. So this wave went on and on and on. The wave went for at least 10 minutes straight.
Oh, that's the worst.
It was just one of those ones of just this is crazy. Again, I don't like the wave. I'm not a fan of it, but it was just one of those things of it just made me laugh. But it's a fun experience. But yeah, I agree. I think it'd be way more entertaining to watch the skills. I remember the old obstacle course that they used to have everyone run through. I remember watching Warren Sapp run through the obstacle course. And that was when I just realized, like, dude, this Warren Sapp guy, like,
he's huge.
He's huge and fast. Like, this guy's crazy.
You want to go real old school? The king of the Pro Bowl skills competition was Darryl Green back in the 90s. Bro, that dude ran that dude for a promotion for his charity on his 50th birthday ran a 4.4. So, yeah. That guy was awesome. I liked watching. So, like, I mean, not to get into a video game topic, but there was like a QB Club 99 for N64, and they had all of those Pro Bowl games on it, and you could play as Brett Favre. I think there was like 5 or 6 main quarterbacks. It was like Brett Favre, John Elway, maybe Trent Dilfer, Jeff Blake. Some other
those things are not like the others.
But no, I miss the QB Club. I wish they would bring it back. Can we, and then we can talk about Jarvis Landry. I mean,
I was about to say, I think Jarvis Landry should make the Hall of Fame just based on his dodgeball skills alone.
Okay, so it was impressive, but it wasn't dodgeball. Like dodgeball, I mean, what are the rules? What is it? Dive or dodge, dive, duck, and dodge, right?
No, like catching is so impressive. I love it.
Oh no, it's impressive. I'm not gonna say I wasn't impressed, but that's what Patches O'Houlihan taught me. Was the 5Ds of dodgeball, and not one of those is catching.
Ben, this isn't a mid-2000s movie podcast.
This is a sports podcast, and Jarvis Landry brought the entertainment. I remember
it was entertaining. That was awesome.
Remember when they did the drone drop?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was so cool. Like, anyway, I think the Pro Bowl games are way more entertaining than. I just think they're way more entertaining than the actual game itself. I really wonder, like, if Derrick Henry plays in this Pro Bowl. I don't know. Is he playing? Have we heard confirmation about that or not? If he does, I have a feeling he runs for like 400 yards because like. People don't want to tackle him in a normal game.
Oh, yeah. He's gonna, yeah. Has there ever been a serious injury in a Pro Bowl game? Has that ever happened, ever?
I don't remember anything.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's glorified two-hand touch. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. I wish the Pro Bowl meant something like, like baseball has the All-Star game and like, you get home field advantage for the World Series if you
not anymore.
Right. But like something to put some teeth into the game. To make it I know they get paid or whatever, but like some sort of advantage for the conference. They
get paid $30,000.
Like losers get paid $30,000. Winners make a significant chunk.
Yeah, but it's not much. Like, okay, it's a significant chunk. It's a significant chunk for the punter and the kicker that get to show up.
No, but anyway, I mean a one-time bonus. Even for a guy with $1 million contract, racking in $100,000 for a day's work.
Yeah,
that's still not nothing.
Yeah. And then obviously Pro Bowls have Hall of Fame implications. So
the elections do, and that's the other thing. I think you get bonuses or what is it? What are they called again? The additional things you get bonuses and stuff for. Incentives.
yeah.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you get an incentive for that, which I always think it's weird. Like, do these guys? Oh, who was it for the? We talked about it off in our chat. Who was it for the Vikings who just made it in?
Oh, the weird one that.
Yeah, the cornerback.
That,
you're like,
that
what?
cornerback. It's like there's 11 other guys on the Vikings I would have picked before him, like just the Vikings.
Well, and you're just like, wait. So this guy is now like this guy. If he has a Pro Bowl incentive, he gets a Pro Bowl incentive, and you're like, really? So we're gonna go ahead and move on. So the Hall of Fame thing happened. We talked a little bit about the Hall of Fame last week. Reactions to the voting. Like anyone, we've got some specific ones we're going to go through. Are you surprised by any of the guys that didn't make it in?
I'm always surprised by guys. Well, okay. So I'm upset by guys that didn't make it in. I'm not surprised anymore. I'm pleasantly surprised that Larry made it. I know there's some people that'll argue about Derek Jeter not being unanimous, but look, we've already set the bar at the only person who's ever been unanimous being Mariano Rivera. So, like, I think Mariano is better than Derek, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I had an issue when Mariano was elected unanimously because Mariano was fantastic, but if Ken Griffey Jr. is not in unanimously,
that's my thing. Yeah.
If Babe Ruth was never in unanimously, if all these Mariano Rivera is a fantastic. I've almost put him. He is simultaneously the most underrated and almost most overrated player ever because of stuff like getting in unanimously. Like
I have to disagree. Just because this isn't, it's not a player versus player thing. So it's not like we can't have. It's a both and not an either or. It's not like we have to. Derek Jeter gets in, so and so isn't. Like this is why people can get on the ballots 6, 7, 8, 9, or however many times they want to get on until they get in. I had no problem with Mario because it's all about context. It's all about who was voting, when they were voting, how they were voting. So, yeah, looking back, Ken Griffey Jr. and Babe Ruth, should they have been unanimous? Yes, but maybe there was a good reason they weren't based on – and maybe it wasn't a good reason, but maybe there was a political reason or maybe somebody didn't like somebody or you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all contextual. So I'm saying Mariano Rivera is like GOAT status. Like,
no, he is the GOAT closer. And I guess my thing is, well, I know. So another guy. So this is Walker's the first Rocky, but a player that's near and dear to my heart. I never got to see play, but was Goose Gossage. And Goose Gossage for years couldn't make it into the Hall of Fame because people downplayed closers because they said closers they're not real pitchers. You're not out. You didn't go through. So that was a downplay. So he struggled to get in. He eventually got in on a veterans deal. And so that was my thing with that. But Jeter, I've got no problem with Jeter not being unanimous. Part of it, I think, could come from my anti-East Coast bias. But I believe that if Derek Jeter played on any other team other than the Yankees, he might not even be a first ballot.
Oh, that's for sure. I mean, the team you play on has everything to do with your Hall of Fame numbers. Like you can look at like these. I mean, you can even skip sports. Like winning matters when it comes to the Hall of Fame. Like you can say what you want about individual stats, and there have been some great individual players that eventually get in. But if you want to be in on first ballot unanimously or close to unanimously, you better be winning some World Series. That's all I have to say.
Well, go ahead, Jonathan.
I'm just saying, I'm looking at the list. The people who didn't get in that were close. Well, the only person who didn't get in that was close was Curt Schillings. And I think that has more to do with his political stuff after baseball than it does with anything he did playing baseball.
He got fired from ESPN, and that's gonna cost you a lot of votes.
Yeah. And then Roger Clemens got 61%. Barry Bonds got 60%. We know why they're not in. Gary Sheffield went up from 14 to 30%. So good for him. It's his 6th year of eligibility. Todd Helton's at 30%. That's not good. That's going to take a while for Todd Helton.
It is, but he's only. I think he's only. This
is only his second year. Sammy Sosa dropped from 18 to 13. Andy Pettit went up from 9 to 11. And then people who are not going to be back on now, Paul Konerko is no longer going to be. They didn't get 5%. Jason Giambi didn't get 5%. Afonso Soriano and Eric Chavez are all off. Bobby Abreu barely is going to get to be on it next year. Also, Cliff Lee, Raul Ibanez, JJ Puntz, Brad Penny, Adam Dunn. Surprise, Adam Dunn's not a Hall of Famer. Rafael Furcal, Jose Valverde, Josh Beckett, people like that, not on.
Yeah.
Here's my question. Kind of mixing two stories here, but let me ask you this, and I'll ask both of y'all however you want to answer it. How do you feel the Astros cheating scandal will affect the players involved come Hall of Fame time when they retire?
It'll depend on what they do after this. Some of it will depend what, like, I mean, the pitchers, Verlander is set, but that part hasn't had anything to do with it. But
Verlander could have retired 4 years ago and been set.
Yeah. Some of the pitchers there, I think for Altuve, it's going to really depend on what he does after this. I think Altuve could be one that really does get hurt from it.
That's the thing. I think Altuve is the only guy that was on a Hall of Fame trajectory anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so Altuve is going to be, and part of that is because Astros just don't make the Hall of Fame. You got Biggio and Bagwell. That's it. I mean, of course, Nolan Ryan played for the Astros, but Nolan Ryan played for like everyone. So
what hat is Nolan wearing? You know what hat Nolan wears?
Is it an Angels hat?
Yeah,
it might be a Rangers hat.
It's either Angels or Rangers, I think.
Rangers or Angels. I mean, I've been to the Ranger Stadium. There's a huge statue of him in the middle.
Yeah.
Of the park.
Well, I mean,
but back to the question at hand. Altuve is the only one I think was on a Hall of Fame trajectory anyway. I think he maybe makes it. He maybe does, but let's see. He's had an MVP, won a championship. Normally that resume would get you in, but looking
very charismatic. That is another big element of it.
That's another big element of it. Here's the thing. If he goes into broadcasting afterwards, I think he will make it.
And I also think it'll. I mean, like I said, he's a young guy. So
I have a hot take about this. I think Alex Rodriguez will make the Hall of Fame before Barry Bonds.
All right, that's possible. Yeah.
That's
what for me? I'm going to compare
this. So he cheated.
I'll compare him to with Altuve, similar to the whole Ryan Braun thing. Ryan Braun was on a trajectory for the Hall of Fame, and then he got busted for steroids, and his numbers have still been good. He still plays well, but the way he got busted, I think, is going to keep him out of the Hall of Fame.
And also the way he tried to take the other people down with him.
Yeah,
I think turned people off.
So his everything about him, he is no longer a superstar. Despite still having numbers, he's no longer a superstar. I mean, I can tell you, he gets booed every place he gets. In Colorado, he showed up at bat, he gets booed. Yeah, he gets booed as soon in Arizona. He gets booed everywhere.
Well, he gets booed everywhere because he's a really good player on a division rival. I mean, Ryan Braun has dealt as the resident Brewer fan here. Ryan Braun's dealt with some injuries. Christian Yelich is kind of taking the spotlight from Ryan Braun and allowed Ryan Braun to be like a number 5, number 6 hitter. He doesn't have to be the guy. So pitchers actually have to pitch to him now because of the rest of the Milwaukee's lineup. And so I personally think that Ryan Braun will retire in the next 3 seasons. Is my guess. Mm-hmm. And then you've got 5-year wait? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So 8 years out, I think that we are going to be far enough removed from the steroid scandal generation that all of everything's going to shake out, and either people are going to say, okay, we're going to put up a wall for everybody, or it's going to be a forgive and forget. And if it's a forgive and forget situation, I can't imagine keeping Ryan Braun out.
Have
And
we had anyone make it that actually tested positive?
That admitted it.
No.
I think there was
Like,
one.
because McGuire got off the ballot, which is crazy.
Well, and then some of those ones will be interesting because once they go to Veterans Committee and it's a different set of voters.
Yeah.
Those ones will be interesting. But we'll go ahead and kind of go on. So, I mean, I just have to say that I loved. I'm going to finish our Hall of Fame discussion. Larry Walker, when he got into the Hall of Fame earlier the day, he sent out a tweet basically conceding defeat. He thought there was no chance. It's like he thanked all of his fans and everything. Says, guys, we're going to fall short. I'm sorry. When he got the phone call, if you haven't seen the video, he got the phone call and he was in shock. And I will say, I'm gonna chair phrase, and you're gonna get mad at me for another movie reference, but there is crying in baseball, and because he didn't start bawling, but he definitely started to tear up. And the SpongeBob shirt, if you haven't seen it, it's one reason I just love Larry Walker because it makes total sense that he's wearing a SpongeBob button-up NASCAR jacket thing. Larry Walker, it's just fantastic and amazing, and yeah, it's just wonderful. But anyway, moving on, we got the NBA All-Star Game is the last thing we're going to quickly talk about. In NBA All-Star Game, we got our starting rosters announced. I had it pulled up here. Now it's gone away on me.
Jonathan, do you have the lineups pulled?
I am looking them up right now.
There we go. I had it, and then it went away.
My phone is dying on me for it. Aha, got it. So East is Giannis, obviously, is the captain. Joel Embiid, Pascal Siakam, Kemba Walker, and Trae Young. The West is LeBron James is the captain, Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, Luka Doncic, and James Harden. So do we want to start with the elephant in the room of that East lineup is not that good?
Well, as we've all known, the East isn't good.
When they call it the Leastern Conference, they were not wrong.
Yeah.
I think we're going to come to a point this year where we're going to have one Eastern Conference player make All NBA.
Giannis?
Yeah, first off, Giannis might be the best player in the NBA. So let's not take that away from him. But my goodness, the drop off from Giannis to who's the second best player on there, Joel?
Well, I'm going to say the second best player in the East is not represented currently on the starting team.
Who do you think it is?
Second best player on the East is Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Which is a good indictment of the East. I mean, Jimmy Butler's solid, but when you're the second best player in the conference, that's a problem.
I don't know. Jimmy Butler, I think Jimmy Butler is incredibly underrated. Like, his attitude has caused him issues, but when he's ready to try and when he's wanting to play.
Yeah, Jimmy's good. I think Jimmy's better than Joel. I think Jimmy's better than definitely Siakam. Siakam's been great this year, but
if he gets a supporting cast, I think you can win a championship with Jimmy Butler as your best player.
Yeah. And I think Miami's built kind of for that. They're just a couple of – you just need someone else who can put the ball in the bucket at a really consistent pace. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure they have that one other dude. I think Goran Dragic 3 years ago could have been that dude. But now off the bench, not quite sure about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some interesting trade scenarios, I think, in the offseason for Miami, to get maybe like a scoring point guard. John Wall would be really interesting in Miami if you can get healthy.
And he should be good to go for training camp next year, is what all signs point to. He claims he's going to be ready to go by March, but by March the Wizards will be out of the playoff hunt while bring him back.
Right. Exactly.
Don't bring him back. Don't mess up your development of your young guys. Don't. Yeah. I am wondering what is going to happen with the East in terms of that bench, because are we gonna get to a point where we've got someone like Kyrie might end up left off because he hasn't played a whole lot,
Yeah.
and we're gonna look back at this like, oh yeah, but we know Kyrie was the better player.
Well, I don't know. I'm looking at the guards. Like, yeah, Kyrie is the better player, but I mean he's been out for a bunch of it. But I mean, Derrick Rose. Yeah, I've got no problem with Derrick Rose making the All-Star team this year.
Derrick Rose would have been a starter if it was pure fan vote. So the fan vote had him in. I like Derrick Rose. I think Derrick Rose is a great story.
Wait, no, he was the fourth in fan vote. I'm looking at the list right now.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but then at the same time, here's the problem with fan vote. Guess who's the number 6 guard in the West was on fan vote?
I don't know.
Who?
Steph, the guy who hasn't played.
Steph has played like 5 or 6 games all year.
Right. Yeah. And that's why.
Well, you don't want the fan vote like the one year Yao had played like 12 games and got voted in as a starter, and he refused to start.
Yeah.
Like, so he refused to do it. Like, he turned it down. He said, I haven't played enough games to count as a starter.
Yeah.
And then, so fan vote gets weird. Fan vote one year, like I think it was the year they changed the format from this. If they hadn't, Zaza Pachulia would have been a starter.
I saw that.
And so I think it's a good thing that they changed this, because this does have contractual implications for people, and it has like legacy Hall of Fame implications for people.
Yeah.
Like I like the introduction of the commissioner's legacy spots for some people. Mm-hmm. I think it made really good sense for Dirk and Dwayne Wade, because we know it was both of their last years, and you know, a lot of times people will vote for those people to come for an extra stuff. I was very disappointed in how many people were voting for Melo. Melo has had a good resurgence year, proved he can still play. I'm happy with that, but Melo was nowhere close to an all-star in the West.
Correct.
And nowhere close.
If Melo was in the East,
if Melo was in the East, Melo might be a starter. But he'll get that legacy spot. I think he'll get the commissioner's legacy spot in the East, and I want Vince Carter to get the legacy spot Melo in the West, and then Vince Carter in the East would be so awesome.
Bro, that would be amazing. Just one more run with Vince Carter.
Well, especially in the final 3 minutes of the All-Star game, when it just becomes another dunk contest.
Yes.
Literally I'm going to wait for you. You're going to see everyone on the court, regardless of their team, is going to alley-oop Vince Carter.
I'm going to see Vince.
The other team is going to straight up, no, Vince, go. I want to alley-oop you.
Yeah, like Luka will take it inbound. Go.
Yeah, whether you're on the team or not, they're going to alley-oop. I think that'll be fun, and that's one of the fun things about All-Star games.
Yeah. So I want to see Vince Carter in the dunk contest.
We already had Dwight. We already had Dwight is coming back after 2 years.
I don't know if he. It's how you ruin stuff. That's how you ruin stuff. Like that. I'm also afraid he's going to hurt himself if he comes in the dunk contest, because that's a guy that's going to want to do something awesome. And I just see him like. You ever see those clips of the gymnast person who misses the springboard and runs chest first into the pommel horse? I just picture something like that happening. He's going to try to jump over someone and then just take them out. And another one there, and this is slightly a little bit of a homer pick, but looking at all the other guards that are on the list, I'm not saying he should have been a starter, but the fact that Blue Arrow Murray is not on there is not.
So I don't think he should have been a starter, but I think he should have got more votes.
Yeah, he's not on the list at all.
There's some other people that now the West is really stacked, especially when you consider you only have 2 backcourt spots. I think it's pretty obvious the 2 guys putting up those stats on playoff teams. Yeah, those are the 2 that probably need to be the backcourt guys.
The thing too, I think this is going to be, and I think this is going to be Luka's coming out party. I think we all kind of know about Luka and but I think All-Star Weekend's really going to show everybody, hey, we have a new super. We're not just talking like, hey, this kid's solid, like he's going to be a good player. Like I think the world will get to see, okay, here's why Luka's going to run the NBA for the next 5 seasons or whatever. Him and Luka and Giannis and a handful of others are really going to be
complain about fouls in an All-Star game, which I'm actually expecting that to happen.
I mean,
Luka has got. That's one thing that's bothering me about, and it's not just Luka, but it feels like anyone under 30 is just becoming so complain heavy
because they've watched LeBron.
Yeah, I get that, but it's also it doesn't help that the referees are objectively getting worse.
but yeah, so anyway. It'll be fun. I'll be interested to see the next guys in. But yeah, I mean, I think Jokic needs to be in, for sure. But
the coaches usually get those surefire ones right.
Yeah,
I'm just worried about the I don't want another year where we're like, oh, I really hope someone gets injured, so this person that really deserved it gets in.
Yeah. But anyway, it was wonderful chatting with you guys. All right, wonderful seeing you guys. Right. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.